ReZero is really one of the greatest pieces of media that we get to witness today, and if you disagree, please go argue with a wall. This was a phenomenal episode, and I don't think there was any other way they could have ended this core. Just with the way of how they executed Subaru just breaking himself down, and then to Amelia's confession, this episode really caused me to tear up, and I'm not ashamed to say it. The episode picks up exactly where we left off, with Ram basically just calling Subaru the imposter, and exactly as she expected, Subaru does start going towards her with malicious intent, which causes Amelia to put him inside an ice cage. This gives Ram the opportunity to start interrogating Subaru, but Amelia doesn't want her to use any force like they agreed upon. Ram calls her soft and does bring up the point that there was a Sin Archbishop that can just take over people's forms, which this could be applied to right now. But if we think about this a little bit more, wouldn't you also remember that there's a Sin Archbishop that could just wipe people's memories? That's kind of why we're here. Subaru ends up revealing that he has lost his memories, but Ram is not going for this because at this point, who's gonna remember Ram? Amelia decides to protect Subaru, which causes Ram to just throw her across the map. She gets so livid that she charges up her magic and blasts him back, knocking him out. But when he finally wakes up, they're both gone and the entire room is covered with NATSUKI Subaru was here. And before he has any time to crash out, Reed actually shows up. So right here we actually get to figure out that he can actually just leave the exam room whenever he wants. And inside this occasion, he's leaving because he has one regret that's outside right now. And we then get to see that Julius is at the bottom of the watchtower fighting the Hungry Horse Kings, and that Julius is what Reed was referring to as his last regret. As Subaru's watching Julius box for his life, Meili pops back up saying that, hey, if he dies right now, you get to read his book, which makes him happy for a moment before he snaps back and actually warns Julius of the one that's behind him. Then Reed decides to drop down the tower, landing on one of the Hungry Kings like a Goomba. Then he takes out the rest before deciding just to squabble with Julius. Julius takes this as his moment to do his final stand and tells Subaru to go take care of Anastasia, which he does leave to go do. As Subaru runs through the corridor getting disturbed by these melees, Anastasia and Beatrice shows up. Anastasia tries to get Beatrice away from Subaru, but Beatrice, you know, the one that has like a soul contract with him, is telling her that it's him. Subaru ends up telling them that this tower is basically just done for, which makes Beatrice notice that he normally wouldn't talk like that. This causes him to ask, what Subaru are they talking about? Because he doesn't know him. Anastasia tells him to cut the act of acting like he lost his memories. And this causes him to snap, because at this moment in time, he feels like he has lost everything, being taken from his world, and honestly, the past like 2 hours of his like new life has sucked. And now he has these expectations of being this great, super considerate Subaru that he doesn't even know. And because this Subaru hasn't even gone through episode 18 yet, right now he still kind of hates himself. That's why right at the end he feels like this is just like a punishment for him. Fox Idna ends up telling Beatrice just to stay with him while she goes out to go look for Julius. Subaru, even inside this situation, still tries to stop her so he can keep his word to Julius. They then get interrupted by this big ass scorpion, which breaks the floor below them. Thankfully, Subaru does catch Fox Idna, and she manages to damage it to make it flee. This makes Fox Idna question his motives once more, but of course he can't give a true answer because he doesn't have his memories. But Beatrice ends up telling him that even though he might have forgotten, she will always remember and be there for him, which warms the heart. As they're leaving, they end up triggering one of the scorpion arms, which goes nuclear on them. And with this explosion, Beatrice gets taken out and Fox Idna loses her legs. And no lie, all the ways Fox Idna have died has been by losing her lower half. This is super intentional. As Subaru's desperately dragging Fox Idna, she basically gives him the green light to give her like a mercy killing, just so she doesn't have to deal with this pain or even have to return the body back to Anastasia and make her feel this. With Meili's influence, he was for a split second gonna do it, but he ends up stopping himself. Fox Idna tells him that he's soft like Charmin for not doing it, but still apologizes for doubting him in the first place. Then from out of nowhere, baby girl Satella shows up spamming her I love you, but Subaru tells her that he doesn't love himself. This moment gives him time to truly think about the fact that he knew he was loved by others, his mom and dad, and the fact that the people that he's practically just met for the first time right now are all showing sympathy and care for him. And while this entire moment is happening, you can see a little look on Satella's face where she doesn't look pleased, to say the least. As Subaru's getting ready to accept being consumed by this darkness, Amelia breaks him free so that they can leave the area. Subaru ends up stopping because at this point he's just had enough of the entire situation, and he tells Amelia that everyone besides them have died. And with their deaths, they have all put different expectations on him and he just doesn't understand how can he meet them. But in this moment, this may be recency bias, the greatest love confession happens. happens. I can't even do it justice. From Amelia explaining to him how they first met and a lot of events that happened inside season 1, and about how even though he forgot, she will never forget these moments. And he rebuts with the fact that he can't even believe what she's saying because he doesn't know this Subaru that's super considerate and willing to put his life on the line for others. So then she ends up hitting him with his own line, and this causes him to question why do they expect so much out of him when there are people greater than him out there. But then Amelia hits him with the fact that she would rather it be him because she loves him. This causes him to realize that the Subaru that they know was able to become this Giga Chad of a man because a girl like Amelia was one of his driving forces. She asks for his name one last time, and then you hear "Stay Alive" start. He then collects himself and then says he is Natsuki Subaru. One good tear fell down my eye, I won't even lie to you. Amelia gets ready to tell Subaru something, but right before she can, the entire floor just starts crumbling and she falls down into the abyss. And like the Subaru that we know, he jumps right in after her. They manage to get a hold of each other, and as they're descending, Subaru ends up thinking to himself that this is not the end, this is only the beginning. And with the chime of the return by death sound effect and the loop resetting, all my boy says is, "I'm back." And this is why Subaru is my glorious king. The entire episode was great, but the section with Amelia and Subaru, the way that it just has so many callbacks to season 1 with like episode 18, episode 3, Stay Alive coming in. In the background, you can hear like a piano version of Styx Helix. I just love ReZero. And this 2-month wait for the next episode is gonna hurt, but I'm just happy to hear that we got more content on the way. In the comment section, put down your thoughts of the episode or just ReZero in general. I can talk about ReZero all day. Like the vid, share it, do all the good YouTube stuff, and on that note, I hope you all have a great day.